Hi, Capricorn. Welcome to your February 2016 love reading. It's Raina here. So, typically, I do Capricorn's videos as one of the first ones, and somehow you got lost in the shuffle. And you're the last one I'm doing. So, oh well, that happens. Somebody's got to be the last one, right? But it's very interesting because as February begins, Venus is in your sign. So this is great. Whether your sun is in Capricorn or your ascendant, it's really a great feeling to be seen as attractive. And this is not something that has to do with anything that you personally do to make yourself look attractive, but maybe you will feel compelled to beautify yourself in some way. It's just the energy that is given off. It's like kind of a little bit of fairy dust, you could say. And then at mid month, or specifically on the 17th of February, we have Venus going into Aquarius. And this is your second house of earned income. So a Capricorn person always loves an earth house like Taurus because that's really good for money. And not just money to get by, but money to buy some luxury items, stuff that you don't necessarily need, but that you want. And I know that Capricorns are very good about quality as well as viability. They're not going to waste money on stuff that's just for show, even though they do like to kind of climb that ladder of success. You guys are still very classic in your tastes. And if you buy clothes, you want them to last a long time. You're not interested in disposable anything. So I know that you will make good decisions when it comes to anything that you purchase. But in any case, the card I picked for this period of time in regards to your love life is the Seven of Cups. So I think some of you may be having a little bit of confusion deciding exactly what to choose. Now, obviously, this could relate to more than one person who are in your life and you have to make a decision on who you want to be with. If that's the case, be very careful about any illusions that are swirling around at the time that you're making your decisions, because the Seven of Cups can indicate that things are not all as they seem. Some choices may seem very flashy and inviting, but they are really the booby prize. And I picked a card to describe why you're going through this, and I got the Knight of Swords. So this might be one of the people that you're choosing from. I really get the vibe of an Aries person, even though the swords relate to the air signs. It could be an Aries person that has air in his or her chart, like a Gemini kind of a sub influence. But I really feel like this is somebody who has a temper, who is very intelligent, but also a hothead, and also somebody, maybe he uses his words as weapons and is very much a bully. It could be somebody who is in the military. And maybe this is one of the reasons why some of you, if he is one of those kinds of people, if he's in the military, he's not available all the time. And he came into town and, maybe he wants you to make a commitment and you're not sure. And I will say that if it is specifically an Aries sun sign, be very careful because, as a Capricorn sun, you and Aries form a square. And this can indicate a lot of kind of frustrating experiences with the other person butting heads. And normally it can create a negative attraction. So you do see sun signs that square up that also hook up. But the two cardinal signs like that can create power clashes. If you were both mutable signs, you might be flexible enough to kind of get around your differences. But two cardinal signs, it really is like the clash of the titans. So whoever this person is, be very wary of them because they tend to have, I believe, a lot of drama connected to them, and they may not be very positive as an influence in your life. You may feel a strong attraction, specifically on the physical level, I would think, but not necessarily your personality types, because Capricorns tend to be a lot more cool headed, and you do not like that kind of bullying, and also explosive, anger management issues that this person may sometimes display. And interestingly, the message from the universe is the Four of Pentacles. So if there are two people, the other person in that um, triangle, or whoever that you have to choose from, your prospects, might be somebody who's a fellow earth sign. Um, I mean, it could be another Capricorn, but it could also be a Virgo or a Taurus person. And I feel that this is a better fit for you. The This person may not be very flashy, but they are very good at managing their money, and they are also very committed to a firm foundation, building on that. The number four is all about foundations. So take that into consideration, because the night can be a chaotic energy. And even though it can be very exciting and you can feel a sense of exhilaration at times, maybe even the sexual element playing into this, the passionate element, at the end of the day, it can be too unsettling and unpredictable for you. And the Four of Pentacles is the safer bet. And for you, safety is of high value. For if you had been an Aries person, I wouldn't be saying the same thing. So the advice is the King of Wands, and this is a card of being a good leader. Okay, this is the wands relate to passion, enthusiasm, creativity, but also the leadership qualities that we would associate with fire signs. But the problem is that the dark side of being a leader is being a tyrant. And sometimes Capricorns who are in positions of power, which they tend to gravitate towards, because just being a cardinal sign, you really don't like taking orders if you can help it. You really like giving orders. And so being able to give orders if you are in a position of authority, and doing so in a way that is magnanimous, is very not power hungry, but very positive and affirming to those people who work for you, is the goal to gravitate towards. And since this is a love reading and not a career reading, this may mean that you have to embody this quality in your own life. In other words, take charge of your situation, but do so in a way that is very warm and not a cold, icy type of a feeling, which Capricorn people can sometimes display. And it can actually be very off putting to others, because they wonder, does this person have a heart? And yes, of course you do. Every sign has a heart and has their own, emotional things that they go through. But some signs, because you're an earth sign, tend to kind of be a little bit less, they tend to be more detached and not so emotive as fire signs or water signs would act. And then the thing that crosses you is the Six of Pentacles. And because I also got the Four of Pentacles as the message from the universe, I think some of you, and I've said this in prior videos, watch out for the tendency to buy a relationship. Because sometimes being an earth sign, you tend to be a little too pragmatic when it comes to emotional issues. And you can think that even love has a price and that you have to pay the piper to get what you want. And it ends up being a rather demeaning debasing relationship where it's a commodity exchange. Like, just with the same thing happens with sexual relationships when people, usually women, think I have to put out in order to be in this relationship. And it's not the kind of thing that you want because it's a very conditional experience. There's not this sense of being valued intrinsically. It's all about what you can give to the other person. So that is a one aspect to kind of keep an eye out for, is that tendency to buy the relationship, and then you end up attracting grifters. And I have already spoken about this with Libra in last month's video, and I even titled it that because there's certain cards that kind of hint at that. And the outcome is a Six of Cups, which is a card that is heartfelt, being of the Cups suit, but it's a card of innocence. It's a card of the time in life that everything was simpler, more pure. There wasn't any kind of ulterior motives that are involved. And I just can't help, as I say with that Six of Pentacles, is think that sometimes with earth signs, they end up with relationships where there are ulterior motives swirling around. And this is because it's a tit for tat kind of situation. You give me this commodity, I give you this commodity. And the Six of Cups is a purity, is an innocence, is, having this kind of a love, this joy that is not tainted by materialism specifically, and any other things that relationships get tainted by. And so if you have been in a relationship where fidelity on either side has been an issue, this is a card of going back to innocence. And maybe, the choice that you make will determine whether you have this innocence or not. But it's a very beautiful card. It also indicates spending time with your children. When you start to see love as a commodity that can be bought and sold, it tends to create relationships that are based on mutual using rather than actual affection and downright love. And so if you want a pure type of love, then you have to embody that in your own consciousness and expect it in relationships rather than going after people with the quote unquote right job, who make X amount of money and who have a certain status in society. Then they lose the forest for the trees, and don't get what they want. And if you really want love, you have to be willing to transcend those material concerns to a certain degree. Obviously, you don't want to go too far in either direction, but it starts with really having an emotional connection to the other person, not idolizing someone because they have a very impressive job or income level. Now, Capricorn, obviously, this is a general reading. If you'd like something tailored to you specifically based on your natal chart, please click on the link below. And otherwise, I wish you all the best in February. Take care. Bye.